into the hello.
Into the hello. Yeah, Tyler just started that randomly. Good Lord, dude.
Idiot.
Yeah, we are here to talk about The Cursed, which is a movie that me and Rodney just saw. Tyler was gracious enough to join us as the lawbreaker he is.
The last 20 minutes.
He walked in and sat down, smirked at me, and said, "What'd I miss?" And I was like, okay. It was great. Yeah, the movie, how was it? How did we like it? Josh, what were your thoughts?
So, yeah, when I was at home dreaming about it, I
felt pretty cursed, which is weird. Segue. There's a lot of dreams in this movie. I don't think that's spoiler.
First of all, you and me were both pretty excited about this movie.
Oh yeah, dude, I'm about that werewolf life.
We haven't had a werewolf movie in how long?
6 years.
Dude, like
The Wolfman.
3 months ago for sure. I don't remember, but yeah, dude, it seems like it's been forever. I've been craving me some, werewolfage, like legitimately, and this movie is. I don't know. What do you think about it, Ryan?
Yeah, that's where I'm at, honestly. Like, it's one where I left the theater and I was like, I've got to think about this one. Because I really liked what I saw, but I really didn't like what I saw at the same time. Like, it was really weird. It was weird like
my
that.
My score
like,
was going all over the place.
The whole movie. I was like, oh, this is an 8.5 right here. And then, like, 20 minutes goes by and I'm like, Jesus, how did this happen? And I'm like way down below.
I must have watched the ending.
The story is interesting. The premise of the movie is very intriguing. Dealing with a pair of, it's a mouth, your teeth, but it's a whole.
It's almost like a grill,
like your jaw, yeah. And it was put melted with silver.
That's a terrible explanation.
It's just a mouth. It's a skeleton mouth coated in silver, and it got cursed onto the land because the guy's an asshole.
Gypsies.
Yeah, and and whoever wears them turns into this fucking not a werewolf. Whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a werewolf. But
I did not like the design.
Yeah, we'll break more into that on spoiler territory. Basically, guys, for me, because we'll do ratings before we jump into spoilers. Actually, I think this movie was well acted, but there was no real standout performances either. So it didn't really, carry enough to be warranted as long as it was. I think you could have shaved off 15 minutes of this movie and it would have been all the better for it. Right when it felt like it was losing you, it would add in like an impactful scene, and there was some really good moments, but there is a bit of that where it felt like there was something missing, like it needed like a little something extra, at least on my end. And it might honestly just be the runtime because, as I said, well acted, but there wasn't somebody you could necessarily grab onto. I thought your Boyd, as you were calling him, Boyd, Boyd Holbrook, is that his name?
Boyd Holbrook.
Yeah, he was solid, but he didn't do anything to where I was like, man, I'd love to see him in something else, or something else like this. I was hoping for something like that, but he also wasn't terrible, so that's nice. But overall, for me, I think this is definitely worth the watch. I think it's a solid movie. And, it's not quite necessarily what you think you might get from a werewolf movie, but it also isn't so far to the point where it's not, it's false advertisement necessarily either. It's kind of an in-betweener in that regard, and I think you should watch it. I really do. This one's a hard one for me to score, but I'm going to give this movie a 7.1 out of 10. I still think it was really good the more I think about it. But like Rodney was agreeing, like I was swaying. I was like, okay, now we're getting back into the great territory. And I'm like, okay, well, that's dropping it down. And I was all over the place. I'm going to level out kind of in the middle of where I was because I was jumping to great to just good. It was really good, I think. But it could have been better.
Yeah, I'll have to agree on it's definitely worth a watch. If you want to sit down and watch it, definitely do that. There, kind of like what you said, I felt no connection to any of the characters. Like there just was like no, like the wife, I can't remember her name. Like she's a great actress. I like her in her other movies, but this one I just couldn't connect with her and didn't feel any sympathy or any kind of. emotions for her or any other, even Boyd Holbrook's character. Like none of it just seemed. It all seemed bland to me.
Yeah.
The storytelling was good. Like the pacing, I thought was good in it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think. I mean, maybe shave a few minutes off. 15 to 20 might be too much, but the story of it's not bad. I like the outcome, the ending of it, and I like the brutality of the Scarecrow scene.
Yeah, the Scarecrow was very interesting. And I was wondering that going in. I'm like, how is... Because you see in the trailer a lady getting drug underwater, and you're like, a werewolf's not going to do that.
Right.
And we'll talk more about that in spoilers. So it's like, what is dragging her underwater? And then you're like, if this is a werewolf movie, what the fuck is that Scarecrow thing? But it at least does clear all that up, which was nice. But what'd you give it for score?
I'm probably leaning at about a 7.3. About a 7.3. Yeah, that's about where I'll stick with it.
Same ballpark.
Because I feel like I'd have to do the same thing like you did with just kind of right there in the middle of where I was at the whole movie. It was between an 8 and a 6.
So we were on the same wavelength with this one the whole time, basically. All right, and we'll jump into spoilers. More on that werewolf. The werewolf. I don't mind you changing it up a bit, but I was like, I kind of like, they're doing their own thing with it. I'm fine with it. But as the movie wore on and the way the werewolf was displayed, it was real CGI'd the whole time, which already is kind of off-putting. But in a movie like this, it feels even more off-putting. Like this
should have been practical effects.
And the thing is, there was a lot of practical effects in the movie. But the werewolf in particular, for some reason, they wanted to make CGI, and I don't understand that choice, especially if you're already using practical effects on other things.
And the discolor figuration of it too. Yeah. The whole pale, almost like albino white.
And a creative decision I didn't like. Like every time they were getting attacked, it made like the screen almost fuzzy and shaky.
It did. They did the shaky cam, and then the blood wasn't all there. Like there was one scene that really bothered me where when his arm got
that was nice.
Ripped off or whatever. So like the camera focuses in real quick on it, and his arm is like shredded, and it's like dangling, like his arm's gone. But then he goes running to this fort, and his arm is like there's just a little bit of blood on his arm, and it's straight. It's not all dangling or whatever.
Yeah,
and he,
good for him.
Lays into the corner. Yeah, he's got healing powers. I don't know what happened, but it was just a little thing that kind of pissed me off with it.
Yeah, I wasn't feeling that.
There wasn't much of a scare factor in this either. Like, the reviews, a lot of people were saying scary. I saw scary a lot.
It was all pop-out scenes in dreams over and over again. They really ran that shtick into the ground, I thought. Like, it was like, damn, dude, let's get a little more reality rather than dreams. Like, the dreams almost made up more of the scares than the actual real life. And I think that is a bit of a problem, too. One standout scene, though, I really like what they did, and they used practical effects on it when he cut open the werewolf.
Oh, yeah.
That was, like, my favorite scene in the movie, for sure.
And then her coming out of the werewolf.
Her coming out.
Yeah,
Like,
that was,
it was like,
real
shoot her,
legit.
shoot her. Like, that
I was expecting more of that, which we got more of that
but that
afterwards.
that was fucking wicked right there. Like, that was dope. Definitely standout moment of the movie for me. Amazing practical effects. And I wonder if they did that with the werewolf. Like, it almost feels like they had to have. Maybe they did do some practical effects originally, but it just wasn't working. And because it wasn't working, they're like, all right, fuck it, CGI'd up. But yeah, like we said, pretty solid. The ending was kind of weird. I was trying to figure out exactly.
I don't understand why he lived.
Yeah, that was
makes
weird.
No sense
because
to me.
The girl had to die because it's like she was gone. He was some type of weird outlier in some way.
Well, and also where the bullet hit the werewolf, it seems like it would have hit the kid too. And regardless, it was a silver bullet if he's. But I don't know. I think they tried to do a little too much with the Scarecrow story along with the werewolf story because it wasn't just werewolf. It was like a mixture of like Scarecrow tentacles, if you want to call it.
Yeah, it's weird. It's like almost like werewolf. Wooden vines. Almost
combined, like the Evil Dead type shit.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And which I think they pushed a little too hard on, but there were some scenes where they were involved where it looked really fucking good. Yeah. So I don't know. It's just I'm in the middle with it.
Yeah. Overall,
it's good, not great.
It was a unique balance of supernatural and like not just supernatural, but what's the word? Like almost ghost story combined with werewolf, and I think that kind of made it unique and stand on its own. where it
You
warrants a
talking
watch.
about A24 Ghost Story?
No, just ghost stories in
Oh.
general. Like, because there was usually a werewolf movie is just a werewolf movie. There was a lot of like supernatural ghost type of shit with it, and I think that's what made it go into the really good range for me. Is it did have like a kind of uniqueness compared to other werewolf movies, but again, they went a little too far with that, with the werewolf look and the CGI that lowered it down and kind of kept it from being great with other few character decisions and how long it ran, and then not being able to be attached to the characters, or it could have been like an amazing movie. But yeah, I think that's overall what held it back for me. But yep, that is The Curse, people.
Hurry up.